Alright, y'all. So today I wanted to do a really quick review of Daredevil Born Again Season 2. I know I'm a little late to the party on this one, but I still wanted to get around and give you my thoughts on it. I just was able to watch it a few days ago, finish it, and just wanted to give you my really quick opinions on it. Now, before I give you my initial opinions, I haven't yet reviewed Daredevil Born Again Season 1, which I will eventually. My future plan is I'm going to try to rewatch a lot of MCU stuff, and I will probably rewatch Season 1. But to kind of give you my very brief opinion of it, I thought it was kind of a mess. Going into the Daredevil saga that was from Netflix to now continuing with Marvel Studios doing it under a new Disney Plus kind of era. I was excited, and there's a lot of positives. I mean, there was a bigger budget, clearly. It was great that they were continuing the saga that Netflix had left with the Marvel TV, but it felt very disjointed. There was huge pacing issues, there was weird tangents, and the tone was all over the place. It didn't really know what it really wanted to be, at least when I was watching Season 1. Whether it wanted to be a gritty Netflix-era Daredevil show or a more family-friendly Disney Plus Marvel TV show that was coming out as of late. It felt very confused. So now to kind of continue to my review of Season 2, I was kind of curious how this season would play out. Especially considering the fact that now I know about all the production issues that Season 1 had. And to kind of give you my initial opinions of Season 2, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, this is a much more massive improvement over Season 1. Is it kind of a night and day kind of thing? I mean, it kind of feels like that, but there are still some issues here. But this overall is a much more better step in the right direction. I feel like Marvel, as of late, have been making more better projects, and while not everything they've come out as of late is perfect and hits the mark, so to speak, there's been some duds, if you will. This, on the other hand, is not one of them, I feel like. This is a really solid show. It knows exactly what it wants to be. And honestly, it's a really good season. So, overall, my initial opinions, it's pretty good. Not great, maybe. Can't really tell you right now, but it is a really good piece of television and improvement over Season 1. Now I'm going to kind of go a little bit deeper into my thoughts for Season 2, if you will. I'm going to kind of go into my pros, my cons, and to wrap it up with my overall thoughts like I usually do with these reviews. So regardless, let's get into it. So starting out with the pros, I got to say, number one, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but compared to Season 1, this show knows exactly what it wants to be. Tonally wise, it's a lot more consistent. It wants to be a gritty, dark, Netflix-era Daredevil show. There's none of this. I want to be maybe a more family-friendly She-Hulk possibly territory Disney Plus TV series. Nope, they're embracing the Netflix-era stuff. They're leaning hard into it, and they're embracing it with all the stories and characters. Not to say that there isn't any humor in this, which there is, but it feels tonally right with this. So overall, it feels a lot more consistent than Season 1. And the story is also much more tighter. There's a single plot thread that ignites a series of events and subsequent actions in the story that all relate to that single plot element that happens. Season 1 suffered from random tangents, so like Daredevil would be doing this thing and thinking about becoming Daredevil, and then there would just be a weird episode where he stops a bank heist. Not really important to the story, it doesn't feel like it drives it forward that much. Here, on the other hand, everything in every episode pretty much drives the story forward. It is one singular motion with the story, and that's a huge improvement. Maybe I'm asking for a little bit too much in my television shows and writing, but hey, I gotta point out, it's really great. I also like the story this time around. I like how there's like a illegal, cargo ship that gets sunk outside of this free port in New York, and that kind of kickstarts a whole series of events. Fisk is the mayor in this season, and basically the big plot thread is Daredevil trying to expose him and take him down for corruption, which he ultimately does. And my God, what a shocking finale. Matt Murdock reveals himself as Daredevil, which is something that I'm going to be honest with you, I did not expect and really didn't see coming. So that was really great. So I really enjoyed the story. The characters that came from Season 1 come on board here, but they're a lot more developed and interesting. Daniel, who was a character that was from Season 1, not much development into him here. But in season 2, he has a lot more likable of a character and really grows. And it was really sad to see him get killed. Even, Fisk's henchman in the series, Buck, which I think was in the first season, he's here again, and he's a fascinating character. It's a little bit left vague if he actually dies at the end or like he's going to survive. I believe he's going to survive for season 3, but still. And just a lot of characters that, happened that kind of showed up in season 1 are more developed here, which is great, and it's very natural for season 2. The psychiatrist character that was sort of the love interest for Matt, and then, kind of the whole thing with Daredevil when they break up. She's traumatized by what happened in season 1, and then at the end, there's a whole arc with her basically becoming the new Muse, which I thought it was really crazy and really interesting stuff. And this kind of continues with like a lot of the characters in the series. Karen takes a much more of a active role in this season, and that's really cool. And they basically have a full-on relationship with Matt, which is really cool. One of the big highlights, I'm sure if you're a fan of the Netflix Marvel shows, and it's not really a spoiler, but Jessica Jones is in this series. She shows up for like a little bit, like a few episodes, I would say, especially towards the end. But I would say that her cameo, really kind of supporting role in the series was really cool, and it didn't really overstay its welcome. So I thought it was really nice to see her again. I haven't seen her since really the Defender Netflix days, so that's pretty cool stuff. And even the little cameo with Luke Cage was very nice to see, and I'm very excited to see where they go with that in season 3. Another big thing is the suit. I have not been the biggest fan of the Netflix era suits with Marvel sometimes, in particular Daredevil. The red looks cool, but it looks like a big police body armor, and it's always bothered me that they've never put the double Ds on there. I'm not sure why that is. It's kind of confusing. But in this series, he gets a completely new outfit. Like, it's black, and then there's like a red double Ds on the front. And that's really awesome. Daredevil with more of an accurate look to the comics. Love it, man. I can't believe it took like 4 seasons of television to get there. Or more. But that's great. I had to point it out. I also really liked Bullseye as a character. They made him a lot more interesting. And surprisingly, can't wait to see where they go with him more. In season 1, he was good, but he's just kind of, he's kind of a crazy guy. This season, though, he is just a lot more interesting and has some of the most memorable scenes of all time. Even Kingpin, Fisk, is pretty good in this season. I was kind of shocked that his wife got killed and that whole thing that happens. And I mean, I already mentioned this, but the finale, man. Whew, the finale. It's crazy good. It is crazy, crazy good. But yeah, I really liked this season. I thought the storytelling was really tight and consistent overall. Now I'm going to kind of get into some of my cons. I would say that there are some cons with this season, but not as much as the first season, clearly. This is a lot more concise and better quality of season. The violence is really good, I forgot to mention. The action's really good. The gore is really good, especially that last finale episode once again, where I don't know why in my head, but like Kingpin just killing a bunch of protesters in the hallway of the court building. Ooh, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy brutal. But yeah, back to my cons. I don't have too many cons. They're really just more of questions than cons. That is, where was Punisher in this entire season? Granted, we know he's gonna have a bigger role. He's in that One Last Kill special, which I will review, and he's gonna be in the new Spider-Man movie. I was a bit surprised that he would sit on the sidelines for this whole entire season. I did expect him to show up, but especially since there was like a post-credit scene, I think in the last one where he escaped the prison from Fisk. I was pretty surprised he didn't show up. So not sure where he would go, but oh well, I guess. And the only thing I can really say is, the last, I would say the finale episode, everything is happening so quickly and so fast. It sometimes has a little bit of like, huh? I'm trying to explain this like, for example, they kind of, Daredevil does his whole trial, says, oh, your sham court's illegal. We have evidence of you racketeering and do all these bad things. and then it's kind of just said, oh yeah, no, Fisk has to resign. And it happened so quickly, and I only think, like, wouldn't in reality, like, there would be a long judicial process or, like, some kind of impeachment. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't just be, okay, Fisk, you're out. Maybe I don't know how it works for, like, a mayor of a city. Maybe I'm just thinking in terms of presidents, but I just feel like those order of events happened a little bit too quickly, and just felt like like, for example, the finale was just trying to build even more tension than what realistically could be in a more realistic world, but there's not really a huge issue. So to kind of give you my overall wrap-up thoughts, off the dome, if you will, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is a much better step in the right direction compared to Season 1. If the show continues in quality compared to the previous Netflix stuff, then I think we're definitely on a good path, so to speak. And I think this is a pretty solid piece of TV. It's not perfect, it's not necessarily great overall, but it's a really solid and really good piece of television that I enjoyed. All right, y'all. Hopefully have a good day and peace, y'all.